Wait, can you actually buy a World Cup? This year, everyone seems to be talking about the referees, Egypt, Switzerland, and now Argentina, heading into the final against Spain. But here's the thing. Almost every World Cup ends the same way. Someone insists the winner didn't truly deserve it. They said it about France in 2018. They said it about Germany in 2014. And after the next final whistle, someone will almost certainly say it again. But not every accusation is just the angry reaction of a disappointed fan. Some World Cup controversies are backed by real documents, real investigations, real criminal charges, and in some cases, real convictions. This is the story of nearly 60 years of the World Cup's most disputed outcomes. 4 continents, 4 completely different eras, and 4 very different kinds of scandal. Because sometimes the controversy is about a single goal. Sometimes it is about an entire match. And sometimes it is about whether the tournament itself was bought before the first ball was even kicked. Let's begin with England in 1966. The host nation wins its first, and still only, World Cup title at Wembley in front of its own supporters. But the final is remembered for one question that has never completely disappeared. Did Geoff Hurst's shot actually cross the goal line? The ball hit the underside of the crossbar, bounced down, and was awarded as a goal. England went on to beat West Germany. Nearly 60 years later, people are still studying the footage. Mathematicians and physicists have reconstructed the trajectory of the ball, compared camera angles, and analyzed every available frame. And still, there is no answer that everyone accepts. There is no proven corruption here. Just one disputed moment that became part of football history. Then came Argentina in 1978. The tournament was hosted by a country ruled by a brutal military dictatorship, responsible for the disappearance of thousands of people. Argentina needed a very specific result against Peru to reach the final. They needed to win by at least 4 goals. They won 6-0. It was exactly the result they needed, and historians, journalists, players, and politicians have debated that match ever since. Declassified American diplomatic cables confirmed that the political pressure surrounding the tournament was very real. Decades later, a Peruvian senator publicly claimed that the match had been arranged. But despite all the suspicion, no official investigation has ever conclusively proved that the result itself was fixed. That uncertainty is exactly why the story refuses to die. Now jump forward to South Korea in 2002. South Korea was one of the tournament's 2 host nations, and its run to the semifinals became one of the biggest surprises in World Cup history. But the match everyone remembers came in the round of 16 against Italy. Italy had a goal disallowed. Francesco Totti was sent off for supposedly diving inside the penalty area, and South Korea eventually scored the golden goal that eliminated the Italians. The referee, Byron Moreno, became one of the most hated figures in Italian football. His career later collapsed amid further refereeing controversies in Ecuador, and he eventually left the sport without ever giving Italy the explanation it wanted. To this day, Italian fans do not remember that match as a heroic Korean victory. They remember it as something taken away from them. And then there is Qatar in 2022. This case is different. This is not simply a questionable refereeing decision or an unproven theory about a match. The process through which Qatar won the right to host the tournament became part of a massive international corruption scandal. The United States Department of Justice launched an investigation. FIFA officials were charged. The FBI became involved, and the scandal helped bring down FIFA president Sepp Blatter, who had controlled world football's governing body for 17 years. No one proved that Qatar bought the result of a World Cup match. The accusation was much bigger than that. Investigators alleged that people had tried to buy the right to host one of the largest sporting events on the planet. 4 scandals, 4 countries, 4 continents, and almost 60 years between them. But every story follows the same basic pattern. Whenever enough money, political power, or national desperation is involved, Someone will either find a way around the rules or be accused of doing so, whether it actually happened or not. And that distinction matters. Proven corruption, like the corruption uncovered around the World Cup bidding process, is rare. It leaves behind evidence, documents, bank transfers, criminal investigations, and eventually consequences. But unproven accusations are much harder to kill. The debate over 1966 never disappeared. The suspicions surrounding Argentina in 1978 are still discussed today, and Italy has never truly forgiven what happened in 2002. These stories survive because a painful defeat without a clear explanation is difficult to accept. It is much easier when there is someone to blame: a referee, a federation, a government, an entire system. And many of the protections used in football today exist because of these controversies. They are more independent refereeing structures, greater scrutiny of tournament bids, and criminal investigations into corruption inside football federations. The system became better because enough people became angry enough to demand change. So when Argentina plays Spain in the final this weekend, someone will inevitably claim that the result was unfair, a suspicious penalty, a missed foul, a questionable red card, maybe even a conspiracy. And when that happens, remember this: that person will be doing exactly what football supporters have been doing for nearly 60 years. Not because the game is necessarily more corrupt today, but because deep down, we have never completely trusted it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. This was my first long-form video, and honestly, it wasn't easy to make. But I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. There are still so many fascinating stories and topics that I want to bring to life through animation. See you in the next video.